What's up, everyone? It's Roll Call with Karina Nastal, episode 10, and I've got some incredible guests today, Lisbet Marquez and Mike Acosta from Houston City Beat. You guys have to check them out. I want to get started with you, Lisbet, because I've been in awe, just watching everything that you're doing for the community, for media, and just keeping local businesses.
The feeling is mutual. Yes.
Thank you. Where did you grow up? And, what got you started doing what you're doing?
So I was born in Cuba, and I came to Texas as fast as I could. I was 3 years old, little tyke running through the ocean. No, I'm kidding. So I grew up in Houston.
Awesome.
Well, specifically in Katy, but it's part of Houston as well.
Shout out to Katy.
And I started in, I got my MBA from the University of St. Thomas.
Awesome.
In finance and accounting, which is a perfect match for marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so after a few years of trying different businesses and failing, because every entrepreneur has a degree in failure of some sort, right? I don't know if I should look at the camera or if I should look at you.
No, you can look wherever you want.
Okay.
It's your show.
Well, thank you. So I was in the funding space. And I had a breakdown, an emotional breakdown, and I had to look for something else because what I was doing I wasn't happy with.
Right.
And that's how
a wake up call.
It was a wake up call, and that's what a lot of entrepreneurs experience.
Yes.
And when you're in that moment, you have to do something, or you're going to continue to be in the same funk.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So I looked at all the things that I was doing, what I liked, what I didn't like, and one of the things that I loved. It's going to sound horrible. I loved social media. I loved Facebook. I loved all the interactions on there. So I thought, why don't I focus my career on that, on marketing, which turned into a marketing agency.
Yes.
That I ran for about 4 years.
And was that Houston City Beat as well?
No, that was it was a marketing agency.
Okay,
cool. A traditional marketing agency. And we did everything from websites, SEO, pay-per-click, all that stuff.
You learned a lot.
I did. And during COVID was when Houston City Beat was born. And I originally launched it as a directory because I didn't know what to do with it. I saw the name, it came by. Different entrepreneurs, everyone has a different story of how they get inspired with ideas.
Yes.
Mine just flashed by me like
like lightning.
Like a train. Like,
yes.
And so I looked up the name on GoDaddy, and it was available for $9.99. And
inspiring to all you entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought the name, and I turned it into a directory, and we are now on our 4th iteration of what Houston City Beat is.
Wow.
And
incredible.
I love where we are now. I love where we're going. We've got a very clear vision.
Yes.
And we're really working towards making a huge impact in the community.
Wow. And that's something that I really admire because she's got a Facebook group. It's actually Houston City Beat as a group as well, correct?
Yes. So the group is called HoustonCityBeat.com.
And that I love that you're always highlighting entrepreneurs and small businesses in the community. So if you're in the Houston area and you have a small business, you really need to join this group, and you really need to connect with Lisbet and Mike because they are always, boosting businesses, and you've got a lot of followers, a lot of impressions, you were just telling me.
So on my personal page, because I've dedicated a lot of time to Facebook, and if Zuckerberg is watching this, I want you to hear this story.
Yes.
So I've dedicated a lot of time to growing my personal page, and on a 30-day period, I have about 120,000 to 150 impressions, 1,000 impressions. And I've recently been, they're putting roadblocks up for me on my personal page. And I'm just having to go through that.
Right.
And verify my account and all this nonsense that's happening. But the point is, you should, as a business owner, you should not depend on someone else's platform to grow your business. You should have your own platform, which we do through Houston City Beat.
Yes. And that, we hear that a lot, that Facebook just has limitations. So as business owners and entrepreneurs, we just have to beware. But still, this is definitely Houston City Beat. You got to connect with them because they really do have their pulse on what's going on in the city.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you there's so much that you do, and there's so many businesses that you promote. I mean, tell us a little bit about, you know, the range of businesses that you promote.
Well, so about 6 months ago, that was the road we were on, promoting businesses and promoting businesses. Now we're on a different path where we're creating content that's about Houston. What a year down the road, I want Houston City Beat to be a media company, not necessarily promoting businesses. We promote businesses as we run ads through the content that we run. We started a TV show called HCB TV.
Awesome.
And we're going to have ads for businesses on those episodes.
Okay.
But Houston City Beat, to me, is more useful if we provide content that's interesting.
Agreed.
To the Houston area versus, look at this business, look at that business.
Right.
No one cares.
Right.
And I don't know if I should say that, but it's true. No one cares.
Yeah.
You know, who cares? So what? Okay, you're going to talk about this other business. So what?
Right.
But let me tell you about a story that's really engaging that you might not have known about. Now you're going to watch it.
Yes.
And now you're going to see these advertisers that are advertising on the platform. Now we're really bringing value.
Yes. And
that's where
you
Mike
do have
comes
great
in.
Stories.
Yes. So that's where Mike comes in because his background really lends to all of that.
Yes.
Because he's really great at creating stories. He knows a lot of facts. Like, I think you could be on Jeopardy. No, I'm serious. If it's about Houston, he's the guy.
He's the guy. Yeah. So should we give Mike a little time now, or should we keep going? Do you have, because I want to hear more about the program, like the police officer program that you were saying. Yeah. Okay.
So Mike came up with the idea. It's called Back the Badge. And he can dive into the details about that.
Yes, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone who's watching. I've got my leggings on. Yeah. We're in spirit here.
I'm wearing my green eyes.
Yes.
I got my all black.
I already pinched him, don't worry. Mike, thanks so much for being here with me. You as well. And I want similarly to ask you, like, where did you grow up? And what got you doing what you do? Give us a little bit of background on
Well, I'm a native Houstonian, and I grew up here. I went to the University of Houston, and so I've been here my entire life.
Yes.
And all 102 years of it. And no. Well, I grew up when I was a kid. I grew up near downtown.
Oh, cool.
On the north side of downtown. And it was in an area where I could see downtown being constructed. So that was when I was little, it's like 1980, 82, and into the 80s.
Yes.
I saw all those skyscrapers, the ones that we see today, being built. And it was just fascinating to me. And so I liked taking pictures of them. And then in 1986, there was the Rendezvous Houston laser show concert that used the downtown skyline.
Yes.
That just really did something. And I used to spend summers going, my mom worked downtown.
Okay.
And so I would go with her sometimes during the summer to the Houston Public Library, and I would check out Houston books, and even at school. So I was always really interested in Houston stuff.
Yes.
And I was checking out books that were written in the 50s and in the 40s,
Wow.
So they were like 30 and 40 years old at the time. And just, I don't know, it was just fascinating to me. And then, of course, the Astrodome. I love the dome and
absolutely.
Going there. And, of course, that led later on that I worked for the Houston Astros for many years.
Okay.
But I just grew up here, and I had a lot of fun. And it always was something that's just very dynamic and special.
Yes, so you pretty much grew with Houston. Like we all kind of grew up with Houston as native Houstonians.
Yeah, I have my own opinions on how the city has gone over the past 20 years.
Of course.
And urban renewal, from the inside 610 and all the spokes across that form this wheel around the central part of Houston. And so I feel like I have a really good sense of where Houston has been, how it's changed, and where it's still going too.
Right.
Yeah, because it's still a lot of changes.
Still growing.
Yeah.
Ever
and
changing.
Houston is actually always a city that's been evolving.
Yes.
It was always in the 60s. It was the fastest growing city in the nation. It's maintained that for a long time, but it's just gone into an international city.
Yes. Yeah. And so you're somewhat of a Houston historian.
I guess
you
so.
will,
I was an Astros historian for many years.
Yeah,
and so
tell us more about
working
with the Astros.
Well, like I mentioned, I like going to the Astrodome and watching the Astros play. My dad used to take me there. My grandfather and I used to sit out. They used to
Aw.
live in the Heights. My grandparents lived in the Heights, and
Uh-huh.
we used to sit out on the front porch and listen to the games. And then my dad would take me to the games. So, and I was in the Astros buddies until I couldn't be anymore. And
They
so
kicked him out of the Astros buddies.
Oh no.
yeah. It was like, you're 14 now. You need to leave. Like,
Get out of here.
you need to start buying your
You're
regular
growing a
price tickets.
mustache.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
yeah. And I'm like, no. I got my rainbow jersey
That's
on.
so funny.
So I really enjoyed that. And in the late 90s, I had mentioned, I was in school and I had mentioned to my mom, actually, and I said, it would be kind of cool is if I was working at the new stadium, which is Minute Maid Park, but
Right.
at the time it was just the new stadium.
Mhm.
If maybe I could be working there by the year 2000. And she said, well, just do it. She said, do it. And my dad always would just say, just do it. Like, he's do it and then talk about it. Right.
Yes.
And this, it sounds like somebody else that I know too. Like, she's like,
I never use the word try.
Yes.
I believe strongly that you should never try anything, because when you try, it's an excuse for failing. So just do it.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I did
Agreed.
was I
Our,
just
our own Yoda.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, what did I say? See, that's what I told her
She's
earlier.
got the green eyes.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
already working for her.
Thank you. See, she needs to watch Star Wars.
Wisdom.
I should
Wisdom.
probably watch Star Wars so I can understand the reference.
Oh my
But
God.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
I'm one of
never
those
seen
people.
Star
You
Wars.
guys are gonna have to sit and binge it.
Oh, I've tried.
You're
I've
gonna
tried to
have
get her to do it, and she's like, maybe. But I actually, that's what I did. I literally took my resume over to the Astrodome, went right up to the office, and I didn't know what to apply for, but I was studying communications at the U of H, and so I put down broadcasting, and also put down baseball operations assistant because
Wow.
I figured something in there.
Mhm.
And the next day I got a call, and then 2 weeks later I was at the Astrodome being interviewed by the director of broadcasting.
Incredible.
And I got a broadcasting internship there.
Wow.
And so then 22 years passed.
Yes.
And then that. I had a whole career, going
Yes.
to playoffs and World Series and all the ups and downs. And I got a lot of operations background, sales, marketing, branding stuff, when we rebranded the team into the current navy and orange back again. And then along the way, I became the historian of the team.
Right.
And so I was involved with the Astros Hall of Fame and established that.
Okay.
And so that's my baby that's still over there. Yeah, and I still stay involved with that in the process of how the Hall of Famers for the Astros are still elected. And then I go, on Hall ofAme Day, and there's a ceremony.
Your
and
family.
stuff.
You're always
So,
going to be involved.
Yeah. The Astros, while the focus full time has shifted, and now it's with Houston City Beat and these other projects, it's still there. I'm still a baseball fan.
Of course.
And now that the good thing that I really like is that I left something with the Astros that's permanent, that they did not have before. And so that feels good. And then I can kind of still be involved with that,
Right.
And so that's how that happened. Yeah.
So how has your communications degree helped you now evolve into working with Houston City Beat?
Well, everything that I experienced. So when I met Lisbet several months ago, for 8, 9, 10 months, July of 22, we met at a networking event and a gallery exhibit mixer.
It's not a networking
That's
event.
right. It wasn't a networking event. I'm just used to saying that but it was a mixer, and she introduced herself, and we were talking, and there was a group of us, and she introduced herself and said, "This is what I do," and we connected online, and I started looking at the different projects she was working on, and it was just really fascinating because it was what I instantly saw was potential,
Yes.
and I was very, because what I had seen is that Houston City Beat existed online with a bunch of people that were engaging with her, and they were talking with her, and she was already promoting businesses, like you talked about. What I saw was I saw a sponsorship department that was not activated.
Yes.
And that's something that was very big to me in working with the Astros, is that how do you get your sponsors, how do you activate these businesses that want to do work with you and make it part of your content? And so the Astros actually are, they're a big brand, right? But if you look at it from the standpoint, if you take away all the emotion of what the Astros bring, it's a brand it's a national brand. It's also a community brand that engages with these businesses.
Yes.
And so you have to develop something that's compelling
Right.
for the businesses that you're working on. And then on top of that too, I had done a lot of work with radio and television stations through that with the Astros. And I had noticed that over the past 20, almost 25 years now, all the radio and television stations, we were on 740 KTRH, the Astros, and they were independent. You know, they were part of this network, but then they became, you know, iHeartRadio and all this stuff. And you know,
They branched out.
They branched out. Now you have these conglomerates and own these stations. And I thought, you know, if Houston City Beat was to focus on the local market again,
Yes.
and develop some original content, and then utilize the businesses and help them get exposure and help them grow in that way, and
Yes.
give some of these business owners confidence to get out there.
Yes.
You know, then I think it could be a win-win. And then we're back in the local markets, like the way radio stations and television stations used to do, like in the 60s and 70s.
Brilliant.
And even into the 80s,
Yeah.
because that's where we're at now. And
Yes.
so it's I guess it's a little bit of forward thinking, which is
It is.
what I believe Houston is.
I think so.
It's why we have NASA.
Yeah.
It's why we have the energy industry. It's why we have the Astronomes, because we think forward.
Yes.
And so I believe in that can-do spirit. And I saw that in Lisbet too.
Yes.
Like, she really was a go-getter.
She is.
And she's a very
Yes.
Houston-centric person.
She is.
And so so I saw her presence on her previous work, and I thought, if we could take that and put her front and center and develop some original content, and then I can come along with it as well,
Yes.
then we can really create and have a brand refresh of Houston
Yes.
City Beat. But I had to get her to buy into it.
Of
'cause
course.
I didn't want
It's her baby.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And, you know, you don't want to come in and say, you don't want to make it sound like, hey, you're doing it wrong, because she
Right.
really wasn't doing it wrong. It was just ideas to enhance
Trying
it.
a different
Yeah, it was like
perspective.
And so when I put together the outline, I actually titled it Houston City Beat Brand Enhancement, you know, because that's really what it
Cool.
was.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
And it wasn't, you know, something like, hey, you know, this is all wrong and this and that. She was doing a lot of things right. It's
Yes.
just I felt that we could add this to it.
Absolutely. From a marketing aspect, that's why I absolutely love what you do, because it's there. Like, I love the logo. I love the branding and the direction that you've gone with it. And I mean, this lady wears many hats. You're a mom, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. And, you know, back in the day, I know, you know, because you're a historian, women didn't balance so many things. So it's incredible even to just see you operating the way you are.
Well, you know, I will tell you, thank you for the compliment.
Yes, no,
Thank you very
absolutely.
much.
And it's
the
true.
reason that Houston City Beat is where we are right now is because of Mike. I don't take credit for that. It's all his vision. When we met back in July, I had there was no fire there for Houston City Beat.
Really?
I had given up on Houston City. I had given up on it because I had tried so many things that weren't working that it's almost like I took a vacation from Houston City Beat as a possibility.
Okay.
And I put it on neutral, and I just let it go.
Okay.
And until I met Mike, he took such an interest in Houston City Beat, because it is a cool name.
It is.
HoustonCityBeat.com.
It is. Yeah. It's incredible.
And, a lot of times when you have a really great idea and you lose that passion,
that zeal,
you need something to ignite that passion again.
Yes.
You know, and for me in this situation, it was Mike that was able to do that.
Yes.
And
well, I've always seen you as a success, and even prior to Mike coming on, and I can tell that Mike did enhance it in such a way, you know, because it's blossoming, you know, and that's what it takes. It takes time for great things to blossom.
And you know, the other thing about it is the solopreneur thing is so hard when you're doing everything yourself. That you to make great things happen, you need a team.
You do.
You really do. You can't do everything yourself.
It's true.
And that's what caused me to burn out so massively.
Oh yeah.
And just go on neutral for many months before we started collaborating and working together.
Yes.
Yeah, and if I could say something real quick to it, because I have this baseball background, and Liz knows this much about baseball. I told her, you know, she would use this term fail and fail and fail, and you know, in baseball, the Hall of Famers in baseball only were successful 30% of the time, because that's how tough the game is. A 300 hitter is somebody who got on base, who was hitting the ball 30% of the time.
Wow.
And so that tells you how hard it is.
I did not know that.
And baseball is a game of failure. And when the Astros were going through those years where they were losing 100 games 3 years in a row, I remember internally in the organization, the new owner Jim Crane had come through, and it's like, how are we going to build a winner? How are we going to? So I was going around and had relationships in the clubhouse, and I was talking. I said, what we need to do. And I wasn't telling the players this, but what we need to do is we need to learn how to lose together so we can learn how to win together.
Okay.
And this is a game that you lose a lot, right? Because you know that you're going to strike out or get out 7 out of 10 times, but you have to learn how to improve, how to sustain through that, and how to be thinking like a winner, and how to get a winning organization. And so that's I knew.
I like that approach.
That this was the same thing. And so every time I approach something, because I am a big baseball guy, I think of it in terms of how do you build a winning organization, and that's something that stayed with me. I may have my thing that gave to the Astros was a Hall of Fame, but I think what the Astros gave to me was learning how to build resilience and learning how to build a winning organization, and how to sustain that. So that's what I
commend you, because I can hear the passion in your voice. Like when you speak on the Astros or even Houston City Beat, I can feel it. Like you're like, you want to help grow it. You want to help push it along. And
this is the project I always wanted to be part of. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a great Houston project.
It is.
It's with a great person, who is running it, who is very genuinely cares about this organization that she has. And so it's good to be part of that.
Absolutely.
And because if you don't have that, then it's just going to flutter around.
Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like you both have the partnership you needed as well, for Houston City Beat, because it's limitless. It's absolutely limitless.
Yeah, it is.
Are there any shout outs you guys want to make? Or I know you discussed a program.
Yes.
So
there's a few
finish
programs.
telling me about the programs.
Back to Badge, HCB TV, which we launched our first episode 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I'll have to get that link so I can add it.
Yeah, for sure. So we want to talk about those two things, and then we have contributing writers that are bringing their expertise to the Houston City Beat platform by sharing what they're knowledgeable about. We've got 6 sections. Is it 6?
About 6 or 7.
I should know this. We came up with the name together, but
that's awesome.
I have a bad memoria.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, we broke down the Houston City Beat to have like a channel, like so HCB1 would be the channel where the episodes are going through. And then we have more of like an online magazine media thing with the articles and local contributing writers. So we branded out the different sections. So, the realtor section is called Space in the City. The sports section is called Clutch City Sports, or Clutch City Beat, and things like that. So a healthy hue, HOU instead of a healthy U, for the health and, that type of thing. So we've tried to be really creative and make it very Houston centric, so that way people that are in Houston, they're drawn in, and and that's why we want to attract people to come in and be part of it, so they can be experts in their field and have something that they can speak through. So we have that, and then the Back to Badge program, which is something that's brand new. That I have a lot of history with working with law enforcement in different agencies, and law enforcement's in my family. So the thing that we don't hear about are the good things that law enforcement does. It's always about the train wrecks and the car crashes and the murders and the violence and all this and that, which is part of policing. It's part of policing, but the flip side of it too is the caring part that they do for the community, feeding the homeless, feeding orphans, taking care of people. There's a lot of
things that are overlooked.
Correct, because it's not the eye candy that you want.
Sell, right?
Yeah.
Good news doesn't sell.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something that I wanted to bring a focus on. So our first partnership is with Ryan Gable, who is the constable in Montgomery County Precinct 3. And so he has a lot of great programs that we're going to be highlighting, and we're also doing some stuff with the Houston Police Department, and it's not only just the programs, but it's also some of the fun stuff that they do, like the helicopter pilots that go around town, things like that. So it's really to bring Houston stories, and that might be Montgomery County with the constable that I just mentioned, but Houston is kind of a 9-county greater Houston
It
area,
is.
right? So there's a lot of Houstonians or people that work in Houston that might live in Montgomery County and commute, the
Right.
Woodlands or whatever. Just like Fort Bend County, you get people that are
Absolutely.
going into Houston.
You have a lot to keep you busy
Yeah,
as far as
so we want to kind
surrounding
of
areas as
we want to
well.
have that whole area be part of this project.
That's incredible.
So that's
and I do like that idea, because you're right. We don't get enough positive, worthy stories.
Yeah.
We just get Channel 2, Channel 11, which is it's great.
And there's a lot of good people working for the stations, but
Mhm.
the stations sometimes are under the directive of this higher, Comcast or whatever. And so because I know people, I'm friends with reporters and stuff, and I know what good people they are.
Yes.
But sometimes their hands are a little tied.
Right.
And so with Houston City Beat, we can have the freedom to really create some different things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we also have Astro Talk that we feature on Houston City Beat.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Astro Talk is a brand that I created when I was working with the Astros about 12 years ago. It was a Twitter thing, and there's a pretty decent followers. There's about 15,000 people on Twitter that followed like these daily stories of Astros history, and it was really engaging. And so I decided to bring that into Houston City Beat with Liz's blessing.
Wow.
And so we've reskinned it a little bit, and we do these video vignettes that are part of HCB1 or HCB TV, and then there's also going to be a podcast too, where we sit down and we have like a radio show, and we'll produce it just like we would produce it as if we were doing it for the Astros. And that's the way I like to do things.
And I won't be there because I have no zero expertise on the Astros.
Well, you both have your
baseball.
strength.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have another partner of mine who I've broadcasted lots of sports. We've done high school, junior college, major Division I college, and even minor league baseball together. So he's going to be a partner of mine on this, Gerald Sanchez, and we're going to sit down and we're going to try to put a couple of these out a month, and then have some former players, because I've made friends with a lot of former players. And the really great thing about working in baseball was meeting the good people in baseball, and that's really what sticks with me. Because you could always look up to
you're a team player,
yeah, well, you always
and a leader.
Yeah, you can always see what Jose Altuve does on the field. You go look at a media guide, but if you really want to know what the person is like, that's where it's really nice and exciting, and that's where you gain the most out of it.
That's incredible. So where can people get in touch with you guys as far as getting involved with Houston City Beat? You said contributing writers, podcasts. Like how can people get in touch with you?
HoustonCityBeat.com is our main website. There's a form you can fill out if you want to reach out to us for whatever reason. If you'd like to advertise, there's a contact us. We'll send you a media kit. And we're on all the socials. We have a Facebook, an Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. So we're definitely out there, and we love to collaborate. So reach out to us, and thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Do we want to make some shout outs? I know I want to make a shout out to Rob Guzman and family for connecting us.
That's true. It was through Robert that we met.
Yes.
Yeah. Robert Guzman with Gifismo Communications.
Absolutely. And anyone else you guys want to make a shout out to? All your readers?
Yeah.
All of our fun.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing I will say is we've been getting a lot of compliments as we've rolled out some of the new video content.
Yes.
So that's very appreciative, because we've been working really hard behind the scenes to film, to think it through, writing scripts and filming and putting something together that people would actually want to see. And so we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. So that's really nice. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me again. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Go have some green beer for St. Patty's Day.
And pinch people who do not wear green today.
Yes, absolutely.
Except if they have green eyes. Don't pinch those
That's
people.
true. They're immune, as she said. And subscribe to Karina Nistal Music, and Houston City Beat.
Yes, thank you.
Ciao.